Rev up your engines. All right, something most people don't think about. I just bought this police auction Acura TL for $2,100. You can tell this isn't a police car. Somehow it was abandoned, sat around for a while, and the police auctioned it off. It was an online deal. He decided to go so far, and he bought this online out of Cincinnati, Ohio for $2,100. Now, of course, you don't get any guarantee with an auction car, but hey, it looks like he made out pretty good. We're going to check it all out, of course, just to see. But the body's clean. Now the interior's leather. You can see the back's pretty good. Now the front, which is typical, the leather often cracks on. You can cover it or get them recovered if you want yourself, but check it out. It's even got the super expensive leather aftermarket Acura mats and assembly. I mean, hey, this looks like a pretty good deal for $2,100. Jokingly, I said to the owner, hey, there's one thing, if you do buy a police impound car, let's say it was involved in drug smuggling, it always has a little warning that says, if drugs are found on this car and you get stopped, you're responsible. Realize that. So, in that vein, this is what the owner found under the seat of the car. A syringe, a string. So obviously some type of drug use was going on in this car. So there we go. Somebody was using drugs in this car at some point in time, but it wasn't an impound car because it didn't come with a warning on it. When they're drug impounds, they always have to put a warning what they were for. So we're going to check it out. But hey, this looks like a pretty good deal because it's not a police car. I would not buy a police car at a police auction unless I was one of those guys that was a freak about driving around in an ex-cop car and you want to fix it up. They generally have the heck beat out of it. This car was owned by somebody at some point in time who got arrested and got impounded, and then years later the police sold it at an auction and he bought it. So we'll get out this Autel scanner I'm trying out and we'll see what kind of shape it's in. Now this is a 2007 Acura TL. We'll do automatic selection, and while we're waiting, this is actually an aftermarket Android that was made specifically for the car, and it came with it and it operates fine. $2,100 Acura is looking better and better. And it's the US market. Knows it's 07 Acura TL. Do diagnosis. Here we go. While we're waiting to scan, we can hear it's got an aftermarket exhaust. At some point in time, somebody actually put some money into this car. It looks like he's getting a pretty good deal. You never know at a police auction. Like I say, I am not a fan of buying the police cars because they generally have the heck beat out of them. But something like this, somebody's doing bad things maybe. Well, they got a lot of money. They can't put it in the bank because you can't take bad money and throw it in the bank. So they can put it in their car, putting exhaust systems on, putting fancy things in. And when they finally get caught by the police, hey, you buy their car, hey, you might get a pretty good deal. It's got some faults, which may or may not need much. We'll find out. Got usual tire pressure monitoring faults. That doesn't work. Airbag, stuff like that. What we care about is the engine because it does have 9 faults. So, EVAP system, EGR, EVAP, EGR. Okay, those are all emission controlled codes. Now, like I said, this guy's in Tennessee. He bought a police auction in Cincinnati. Tennessee does not have emissions testing. He doesn't have to fix anything for that to get his car registered. As you can see, smooth as can be, isn't making noises or shaking. In an emission state, it could cost you a fortune to fix this thing. But here in Tennessee, you don't even have to care. So what we're gonna do is erase all the codes. The codes are gone. So we'll take a road test, see if anything comes back, but we're also gonna look at live data now. Here's the live data. We'll start it up. You can see the lambda, that's 1. It's perfect. 0.99, close to perfect. And the other one, 1.02, that's almost perfect too. You can see they're running up the same temperature, which is good. They're still working. And we see the misfires, it has 0 misfires. It's running fine. All in all, it's in pretty good shape. Well, it's a good thing I'm inside because it's pouring rain outside now. Good day to take a road test, turn the wipers on. Now, this is a TL. It's a relatively luxurious car. It still rides quite well. And like I said, you can hear the exhaust. It's got a modified exhaust too. Somebody put some money in the car, and I'm really impressed on this aftermarket made for Acura dash. Android is fine for something that looks like it came with a car. The thing about Hondas and Acuras, there is a tremendous aftermarket for these things because guys like souping them up. So instead of spending a fortune buying parts at an Acura dealer, it is a luxury car, so the parts cost more. You can go aftermarket on many of these things. It's aftermarket, but it even operates the AC and heating system. That's amazing. So here we go to our little drag strip in the sky. Oh, the lightning's coming out. Good thing it's not a convertible or a motorcycle. I look behind, there's nobody behind us, so it's wet. Let's see if the traction control works. Here we go. The traction control worked, and this is a zippy. Listen to that engine. The transmission shifts like a dream. This guy got one heck of a deal for 2,100 bucks, especially in today's market. This thing really handles still in the rain. I mean, whoa, this is one deal. Check it out. The sunroof doesn't even leak. Now this light came on, tighten fuel cap. Well, he put an aftermarket O'Reilly one on. I'm telling him, go get the OEM. He said, gee, it didn't fit on all that well. Well, now it's on because it didn't fit that well. You're gonna get a gas cap, you want it to last. You don't have to go to the dealer. You can go to Amazon or eBay and you can buy an OEM one there at a lower price. Because those aftermarket Chinese ones, half the time they don't work right. Hey look, I'm on his Android too, there I am. We've driven it. I erased the codes just for kicks. Let's see if there are any codes. The only code is the EGR system malfunction. The other ones didn't come back. Now, this was a police auction car that the police took from someone for probably sleazy reasons, considering there was a needle and fixing string and everything under the seat. So, we don't know what's happened to this car in the past. I've erased all the codes. It runs like a clock. You saw the traction control worked great in the rain, didn't slide at all, handled great even though it was pouring rain, it's got tons of acceleration. The tranny shifts like a dream, and if you really want to drive it hard, it's got the manual shift too. The one thing about these cars are, being an Acura, same company Honda, the V6 engines are very powerful. The transmissions are the weak point. This one still shifts like a dream. But if you are a harsh driver, you don't want to buy one of these used cheap and drive it like a lunatic, because it's an Acura. It still will go fast, even though it's old, but you will wear the transmission. You'll burn it out. You baby them, and it could last for years and years. But if you do get in one of these and you drive it, and the tranny shudders and clunks, my advice is don't buy it. Now my data shows it's in great shape, but just the fact of you driving it around, if it's jerking and clunking, thumping between gears, do not buy it, because these transmissions cost a fortune to rebuild correctly. Very few people know how to rebuild them. Let's say you could get one dirt cheap. Tranny didn't work at all. Well, then you would go to those guys in North America here that the only thing they do is rebuild Honda and Acura transmissions. They do a really good job. They're not cheap. You send them your old one and they send you a rebuilt one that they rebuilt. You can go that way. If you get it dirt cheap and you want to do that, great. But if you want a nice car like he has to last as long as possible, it runs as good as this one does, go ahead and buy it. But if it's clunking, my advice is just stay away unless it's $400 or $500. You don't want to mess with it because it's too much money to actually fix them correctly when they do go out. But if you baby them, they can last quite some time. Well, it's pouring rain outside, so I'll have to do my clothes inside the car instead of my usual outside. But hey, nice car, $2,100. Got it at a police auction in Cincinnati. Brought it to Tennessee. He's having fun with it. Now, I do have to say, he got somewhat lucky because, guess what? He couldn't road test the thing before he bought it. And that is always a gamble. Always a gamble. You never know. But it wasn't a police car, so you know it wasn't abused like mad by the police chasing after criminals, getting wrecked all the time. And he got it. It was a good car. It is somewhat of a gamble because he couldn't road test it. What if he would have bought it and found out the transmission was crap? Then that's going to cost him anywhere from $3,500 to $6,500 to fix, and then not such a great deal. But in this case, it does work. He rolled the dice and he won. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Troubleman 6996 said, should I restore these cars? I got a 95 Lincoln Town Car Executive Series I'm thinking about giving to my mom. And I have a 1966 Chevy Impala 4-door hardtop I'm restoring. What are your opinions? I definitely restore the 66 Impala. It's a simpler vehicle. It's got carburetor. Everything on it is simple. You can easily do it. And then you got a classic car, right? As for the 95 Lincoln Town Car, depends depends on the shape that it's in, because a 95 town car still is all fuel injected. It's got a lot of computer crap on it. And from my experience of those town cars, when they get that old, if they get electronic problems, forget it. You're going to have a hard time. You're going to get old junky used parts in that case if you need one. Who knows if that's going to work? Where with the old Impala, it's simpler. You can easily get parts. I would do the Impala first. See how you like it, because if you're going to give a 95 Lincoln Town Car to your mother as a car to drive, I don't think it's going to be that dependable of a car because of its age. They do have a lot of electronics, and you can't bypass all those electronics on that thing. It runs off the computer electronics, and they do break on older Lincolns, and I've had people get them and they couldn't get parts for them and they gave up. So I'd start with the Impala if I were you. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.